My father left at 4 years of age. Something internally told me that I wouldn't see him again. I don't know what, but I remember grabbing him by the leg and crying and saying, "Where's my dad going?" So my name's Paul Bramble. I have a few different part-time jobs. And the reason I have part-time jobs is because I get incredibly bored with the one job every day. So I help out a little bit with Tribal Warrior. I've done that for 13 years. Do photography as a profession, a few hours, here and there a week. I do urban walks with private schools around mental health and homelessness and jail and drugs. My father left at 4 years of age. And I never saw him again. I never heard from him again until I was about 20. And that was by accident when he came to his mum. But the bizarre thing about that moment that he came in was that I'd actually overdosed on heroin about 2 hours before he walked in the door. For a long time, I towards the end of his life, I tried to question him and dig a little bit deeper, but he'd never open up. I found out that my dad and my uncle were adopted out themselves. And maybe that's why, he never shared stuff with me. Finding out that, there was forgiveness. You not necessarily forget, but you forgive. So it definitely benefits you in more ways than you can ever imagine. And I guess it's the pain, even if they've wronged you, for many years. Wasn't with my parents, didn't feel connected to the other kids too much at school. It was very difficult. I guess, you describe it as a train wreck. I couldn't see a future. Loneliness and isolation. So I ended up hitting the streets of King's Cross and stuff with other kids that I got to know from boys' homes and foster care. 16, using heroin. By the time I was 18, I was going through the courts, different district courts, charged with armed robbery, supply, guns, and a few other offences. One of the biggest hurdles for me to overcome in life was when I lost my fiancée in a car accident. I have to go to the morgue and identify her at the morgue. Do you know how horrifying that was? And an addiction for me, it became a coping mechanism. So I pretty much was on, drugs, serious drugs, for around 31 years of my life. Photography is become another world for me. Photography had that ability to transport me somewhere and take me out of the present time. When I'm behind the camera, doesn't matter what's happening in the world, what's happening in my life, all the noise is blocked out. I first bought my camera, a little camera, when I was in the shelter, men's shelter. It was a little Canon point and shoot. And I used to walk around the city, around Darlinghurst and into the city and other places, and I'd just walk aimlessly for hours each day, and take about 12,000 photos. And I look back at those photos today, and they were kind of messy and out of focus and out of frame, but that was a reflection of who I was at that time too. So now when I take photos, and I've had, in the last 6 months, I've had photos in the front page of the Weekend Telegraph. I've had a photo that went all around the world, Al Jazeera, New York Times and stuff. But my photos are very focused now, and so am I. So one of the greatest joys and pleasures I have is helping other people, you know, believing in them, seeing the gold in them, and saying, hey, you might feel like this today, but tomorrow could be better. You know, because I sort of kind of believe, you know, whatever you're breathing, there's still hope in any situations. The moment that I felt like I'd changed was around 13 years ago. And I came into the Tribal Warrior community program that was run there. And within a few months, I actually found my purpose. Everything I did was kind of aimlessly, with no real resolution. If you went and got drugs, you got high, but then there's tomorrow you wanted to repeat and repeat and repeat. Whereas finding my purpose in that few months, I could see a future. There was different people that I'd met along the way that also believed in me. You've got 6 months clean now, good on you. You know, I'll give you a thumbs up. And that's what I do the same to people on the journey, because you get through today and tomorrow's going to look after itself, because tomorrow becomes today.